Okay, in this video, we are going to look at example 4 in your 1.4 notes, and I'm going to demonstrate for you how to use the Casio graphing calculator to locate a maximum or minimum. So example 4 says, on the closed interval from 0 to 3, the number of cars in a parking lot at time t hours can be modeled by the function c of t. So normally we're used to f of x. So t is our x variable, c of t is our y variable, and this is the function here. Based on this model, at what time t does the number of cars in the parking lot change from increasing to decreasing? Well, think about what that means. If I'm increasing, then decreasing, we're looking for a relative maximum. So that's what we're going to use our calculator to find. This is the Casio model of graphing calculator. If you have one that has the pretty math type, yours will be a little bit easier looking than mine. Mine is older. So we're going to start by turning it on, which is your on key down here. And it takes you to a menu. Number 1 is the run math menu. So if you just want to do like normal 2 times 6, that is that menu there. So to change the menu, we go to menu. And what you want is graph. Now for mine, graph is number 3. But on some models, graph is number 5. So it just depends on where you are. You're looking for this graph icon. And because mine's 3, I'm just going to push the number 3, or you can use your arrows to go over to it. But if you just push the number 3, it'll take you right to it. Okay. Mine already has a function typed in here, and I don't want that. So I'm going to use my function keys to tell it what I want to do. What's different about the Casio is every time you're on a different model, these tabs at the bottom are going to be assigned to these 6 keys. So if I want to select, I'll hit F1. I want to delete, so I'm going to hit F2. So if I push F2, it says, do you want to delete this formula? I want yes, so I'm going to choose F1. Now it's cleared out. So we need to type this function right here, the c of t function, into our calculator. Here's what is really important to know about that. 1, don't use the letters in red here to type a variable, ever. The variable button is what you want to use because that's going to know like function notation and that kind of stuff. So that's where I'm going to get my variable. It's not going to be a t, it's going to be an x because we're in function mode, f of x. So just everywhere that we have a t in our formula, that's where the x is going to go, okay? Y1 is going to be our c of t. So I'm going to type that in. Another important thing on these graphing calculators, it reads negative, different from minus. So if I'm really subtracting, use a minus. But if I want to write a negative number, I have to use this. Otherwise, it'll give us an error. So here's our formula. Negative 1.37 variable, and then to the 5th. Now, again, mine doesn't have the pretty math. If yours has like a tiny box to put your exponent in, great. Yours is even better. Mine's older. So mine's just going to look like this. I just keep on going. Plus 4.218 x to the 4th minus 0.357 x squared. If you use the squared button, it does put it nice and tiny like that. And then we have plus 3. Okay. One thing that you have to do on the Casio, every time you input something, you have to lock it in by hitting enter or execute down here. So enter, and now you see it brought back all of our options again at the bottom here. So what we want to do is we want to draw the graph, but notice that this question is only asking us from 0 to 3. So after we graph it, we're going to actually change our window. So I'm going to hit F6 because that tells me to draw. And it's going to draw my graph. And you can see I can't see anything here. That's because I had my window changed for something else. F3 is your viewing window. So let's go there. And we want to change, mine is only looking from 1.8 to 2.2 on the x-axis. We want, again, ours to look from 0 to 3. So I'm going to put in 0 for my x-min, enter, and 3 for my x-max, enter. Now my y-min and y-max, I don't really know what I need that to be yet. So now I'm going to go ahead and go back to F6. There's the bell, which is to draw. No, I'm not. I'm going to go to exit and then draw. That's what I need to do. And so here it is, and you can see it's hard to tell. it looks like the graph goes up. I don't really know what happens in here. And then it comes down a tiny bit over here. So there's going to be a maximum up here somewhere. It's really hard to see where it is. So I'm going to change my window again. And I need my Y's to go taller. So I'm going to change my Y max to like 30. Let's see what that does. Again, enter, exit, and then go back to draw. And that's better. I still can't see the top. That's okay. The calculator's going to find it for us, but we see that it goes up and then down. So our maximum is somewhere in here. The question, again, is asking us at what time t, that's our x-axis, does it switch from increasing to decreasing? So we want some x value in here. We're not going to estimate. The graph is going to do it. And so the way you do that on a Casio is to go to your G solver, your graph solve menu, which is F5. And then it brings up choices again. The roots, the max, the min, the y-intercept, intersection, and so on. We want the maximum. So I'm just going to hit F2, and it thinks, ... And it's going to find it here for us. It locked in on it. And now here's our x and our y. Our x value is 2.446, which is what it was asking for. That's where it changes. If they asked how many cars are in the lot when it changes from increasing to decreasing, that would be this. There's about 31 cars in the lot at that time. But it asks us for where, so that's the x, or in this case, the t. And that's how that works. On this calculator, if you had a graph that had like more than one maximum, you just use your arrows to hop from one to the other across the graph. Okay? So that is how you find the maximum on a Casio graphing calculator.